Uncle Junior, I'm gonna pause there, sir, because this conversation is about them, and I really want them to get their story out because I find it very fascinating. So, by all means, continue,
In the
sir.
conversation. One of the things that you wanted to highlight, and Coach already pretty much like he was reading my mind. One of the things you wanted to highlight was knowing the person before you actually get to before you actually get married and stuff like after 11 years and you guys get married, what didn't you know about each other after the 11 years that made you guys wait what some would say too long,
Yeah.
so what was it?
I think that, for Alonzo, because I'm that type of lady that you can get down the aisle within a year, because I don't want to keep living with you paying bills and we're not going anywhere. I'm the type of person, next year we should be at another level. After that year, we should be at another level. I like to keep climbing. But Alonzo laid back. He's like I said, can't I just breathe? I just said I do. Can't
Hmm.
I just breathe? So I pressured him, into getting married. And a lot of us women, we do that. And I don't have a problem of holding myself accountable because if you did it, you did it, and it makes you a better person when you can hold yourself accountable. It makes me feel good to say, yeah, I pressured him because it wasn't what he really wanted, and I don't know if he would have ever married me. We would never know that. But just after 11 years, I just feel you might as well give it up because, I mean, what is it that you could do special for me that hasn't already ran its course after 11 years? The honeymoon is over with. You come back home, you have no intimacy, you both turn over butt cheek to butt cheek, and you're knocked out, And it's like, I'm tired, I'm tired. You done said your vows and you're glad to get away from the pastor and everything. It's like, man. And he's like, I got to go to work the next morning. So it's, I just tell women if you don't sit down and talk, you're in a world of trouble. Things have changed. We're a new generation. It's not like way, 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 way back when people got married at 16 and they survived and, stayed together for 60, 70 years or whatever. But then some people just coast in marriage. They don't have the money to get a divorce. So they just hang out.
Yeah.
Um, my
And I got
mom
it.
said there was an old school song out called "It's Cheaper to Keep Her." So
In many cases,
yeah, but
that's true.
that's not a good marriage though, and it's not good to pressure someone into doing something that you know in your heart that they don't want to do, but you can't stick around. I remember I used to tell him, well, I think that we need to end this. And he would tell me, that's what you always want to do. You always want to walk away. You always want to walk away. But I'm like, okay, but why am I staying? Why am I staying? Because we're not making progress. And
What's that
I thought,
song? She's a runner. She's a track star.
Yeah.
They say Alonzo, she gonna run away when it gets hard.
and, but Alonzo can't say though, I wasn't a perfect wife or nothing. I mean, when things were down, I mean, I stepped out. I felt like I wasn't getting my needs met, and I stepped out. It was something that I wish that I didn't do, and I think back because I said, well, how would God have blessed me in the end even more if I didn't do it, even though the vows were already, broken
Hmm.
on his end, but still you know, at the end of the day, I still love and care about him, and I always, want the best for him. I mean, even now, when he have women or he say that so and so said about him, I said, "Do Mama Bear got to come out her cave?"
Y'all
He be
might as well
like,
just get back together. No, I'm just playing. Ain't my
"Well,
call.
people tell us that," and he say, I think he hears it more than I do, but we're
Hmm.
like, no, because a lot of times you just pick up where you left off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and for me, if I was to get back with Alonzo, it'd be because our finances have elevated to where we never were. So to me, it would be like to get the house and to take trips and stuff like that. But you need so much more than that, you know. So for me, it would be financial wise, which I'm already close with his pockets anyway. So me and his pockets have outstanding understanding and great
Man,
relationship.
Terrible.
man, it's a whole lot here. I don't even.
He know I'm crazy. I'm cray cray. But no, he is good to me and stuff. But I really do wish we could have made it. And that's one thing that I really have to get over. And sometimes I think that I need divorce counseling, something that I never did get. Because even sometimes now I'll ask him, you know, do you think that we should get back together? But then once again, that's like pounding him over the head, like, I think we should get married. I think we should get married when he didn't want to get married. So that's just not within him. You know, whatever it is about me, if you're not attracted to someone, you're just not attracted to someone, you know. So
So Alonzo, I'm gonna ask you. You know, my question is, why didn't you want to get married? But before then, add a little context. And you know, I was having this discussion with someone recently. I think I had with my fiance yesterday, and it was like, yeah, me and her was having this conversation yesterday, and it was like, I never grew up wanting to get married. I never grew up wanting kids. I never had those conversations coming up. So just the thought of getting married was foreign to me. Not that I didn't see people get married, but I didn't grow up like, oh yeah, I want a wife and I want kids. Like I didn't do that. So not saying that when I got married, I didn't want to get married. I knew exactly what I was doing, but I didn't know, I didn't know really what marriage was at all. You know what I mean? I had a concept of what I thought marriage was, um, but it wasn't what I thought it was. And not to say that it was good, bad, or indifferent. It wasn't what I thought marriage was. You know, and I had to learn a lot. But like I said, I didn't grow up wanting to be married. So and for me, um, that's why I'm asking this question of, why is it that you feel like you didn't want to get married?
Well, when I grew up, I was growing up most of my life I had to survive and
Mhm.
having a bad childhood and other things to happen and being in the street and just trying to make my own way. And then when like I said, I've been in a storm for a long time. And then when I met Dartonia, it was like, whew, like a relief because I would go to work like in the morning, one job, walk across the parking lot to my second job, and I never knew if I had to ride home at 10, 11 o'clock at night, having to walk up Hirschberger. That's like almost suicide,
Mhm.
you know? And then when I met Dartonia, she had a car, apartment. I come in, we could chill, hang out. She picked me up, take me to work. I was like, I won the lotto, and it was just like, I ain't got to worry about fight or flight no more. And then it just got comfortable. And then the years just kept rolling by and rolling by. And then we went to church and I just felt convicted and I did it. And, I do feel bad that it didn't work out. But what I have gained is Dartonia is a phenomenal woman. She really is. And she has a lot of positive aspects too that, we taught and learned from a lot from each other. And I really appreciate her for what she is.
I got a question. And ever since we've been trying to make this show happen, I have been wanting to know. And I don't know if it's the right time, but I can't hold it in no more. I am really, this is, no shade or whatever, but I just want to understand because I'm divorced, right? And I know a lot of people who have been divorced and we kind of talked about it. So why is it that you guys have been able to maintain a relationship, or why do you feel not necessarily obligated, but why do you guys still communicate even though you don't necessarily have to? A lot of times people get married and they get divorced, and it's just like, if we ain't got no kids, like there's no, I don't, even right now, I'm divorced. I don't feel any obligation to have anything to do with my ex-wife, not in a bad way, but just because, you know what I mean? Like my kids have cell phones, like she has moved on and she's in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. So for us, it's really not really a reason for us to be friends, So what is it that you guys have of value to offer each other or whatever, to where you guys feel like this is, the way we want to continue on our friendship or relationship going forward. And because I also would like to know in the future is like, how is this going to affect relationships? You know what I mean? Future relationships.
It really does. I know for me, I know it has affected my couple of relationships that I've had. But at the same time, I get cocky and I shouldn't. I think I told you about that, And it's like when they make me feel like put me in a position where I feel threatened, I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, I don't care because I have a good damn ex-husband that takes good damn care of me. And I'm like, do you really think I'm going to miss a Christmas? Do you really think I'm going to miss Valentine's Day? Do you really think I'm going to miss you? Because the only thing you're doing is just laying a pipe. It ain't like you really doing nothing, big, because Big Daddy going to always come through. So... And I shouldn't look at things like that because it's cocky, because I know it's all God using him, as a vessel. Because if God didn't wake him up or God didn't wake me up, then guess what? Would none of that be possible? But I have to figure out, like, when you challenged me, Garfield, that the people I pick is a reflection of myself. And even I'm still harping on that. Even though I answered the question, I'm still harping on that. But I also, I grew up without love. It's just like my mom would beat me and stuff and say she loved me. But yet the weapons and stuff, Black parents would beat you down. But that takes that love away from you, because it's like, well, if you beat me like this, you can't love me. So that's how come I'm a real nurturer person. I take you underneath my wing. And it's like, I'll get a shirt off my back. I'll cook dinner. I do this and that. Alonzo could tell you I was a good wife. I wasn't a street runner. I did clothes and stuff. It was like, if there was him, there was me. It was like I was his shadow. We was always together. And he'll lay a shirt down. He'll be like, "Where's my shirt at?" I said, "It's in the wash machine. It was clean. I just laid it down." And he always called me the wash queen.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good problem to have, Alonzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kept laundry done. But see, I learned a lot from my mom too, but there's a lot I'm trying to get out of me, because she was the type of person, she would hold on to my dad at whatever cost. If somebody told her to stand on her head, she would. If that was to keep my dad, even though he wasn't the man he should have been, she would have did it. So I feel that I have taken on that trait. Like, look at me. But the thing is, if a man don't see you who you are for a woman, and you're a good woman, you don't have to perform. You don't have to show who you are, because he's going to see who you are. So, but to answer, I feel that we hold on to each other because we were each other's kids. Alonzo was 17 and I was 18, 19?
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like I said, we grew up together, and I think that's something that we just can't let go. But I have struggled with it. That's why I say I know that I need divorce counseling, because he does deserve his life and I deserve my life. But I always tell him, find somebody for the long haul, because what if I'm not able to be there and I move on? I can't jeopardize my relationship to say, hey, I'm going to help my ex-husband. Because he'll be like, well, you don't need me. If you need him that bad, then go on and be with him.
Yeah.
Be with somebody that don't really want you. Basically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
You're not together no more. You signed a divorce paper, so that's a person that doesn't want you.
Yeah.
So, I just sometimes, like I said, when you go through so much, you can actually have somebody good to you and not know. But with me, like, if I have a bad day or something, he'll cash out me money. He'd be like, here, go get your feet done. Or, God woke you up this morning. He put sun on your face. Like today, I was like, I really need to go shopping. It's hot outside. I got to go get me some clothes. And he took and gave me $100. He said, here you go. Go shopping. Get you a couple outfits.
I was
So,
man.
I'm used to that. I'm
Yeah.
spoiled to that.
Spoiled.
To
Yeah.
to where like my last boyfriend, he was a good guy, but he just got a lot of issues. And it was like, even though he would give me $100 for Christmas or gift cards or something like that, he wasn't the type of person that if I'm having a bad day, like Alonzo, here, I got you. Just go do something special for yourself. And I'm spoiled to that. And it's like, if can't no other man do that, I'm like, that's all right. Alonzo.
Yeah. Alonzo don't want Alonzo give you that $100. He don't want you coming over his house washing all his clothes, picking up all his clothes and stuff.
The reason why I do that is
Yeah.
because when I met her and we went through, it was good at first, and we went through a storm. I never knew what it was when Appalachians see that bill in the mail, the red thing saying they're going to cut your power off. And I'm like, yeah, right. I never forget. I was in the bedroom playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
On
And
Sega or what?
yeah, and it was like summertime.
Yeah.
And then I heard, dude, and all the power went out. And I was like, oh my God, you know. And one time we got the lights cut out, and it was fall. It was so, you don't know how cold your house is till your lights get cut out. We was laying in bed, had coats on, holding each other, trying to stay warm. And I mean, we struggled so bad. We get paid, go to Brown Derby, go out to eat, blow money, come home, look in the back of the
Brown
freezer,
Derby.
starving, you know. And we just struggled so bad that our own families most time turn their back on us. So she's like the only family that I really know. And that's why I say I'm not going to see her struggle. And God has blessed me to be able to do what I do, you know, only through him. Because I mean, I have a lot of health conditions I'm dealing with now, but I still have the strength to do what I do. And I'm not going to let her fall by the wayside.